Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well because today we've got some spicy headlines to dive into. From airlines making headlines for all the wrong reasons to big business moves shaking up the retail and tech worlds, we've got a bit of everything. Think of it as a roller coaster of news. Some highs, some serious lows, and a few moments where you're just left thinking, what the heck just happened? We're going to talk about Lufthansa finding out what happens when you treat passengers like they're in the wrong decade. Then, Walgreens? Yeah, they're shutting down stores faster than your phone battery dies. And don't even get me started on the chip industry. When the tech gods get upset, everybody pays. And finally, Goldman Sachs is out here swimming in cash while the rest of us are just trying to stay afloat. So buckle up, folks, because it's going to be a wild ride. Let's dive in. Ever thought a plane ticket could cost more than just dollars? Lufthansa, the German airline, found out the hard way when they were slapped with a jaw-dropping $4 million fine. Why? The United States Department of Transportation ruled that Lufthansa discriminated against Jewish passengers. In 2022, several Jewish passengers were kicked off a flight because, wait for it, they were Jewish. Lufthansa claimed they were worried about safety issues, saying the group had violated mask rules. But the U.S. was not buying that excuse, and now, 2 years later, Lufthansa is paying big time. The big actors here? Lufthansa, obviously, and the U.S. Department of Transportation, which is making it clear that discrimination is a no-fly zone, literally. The airline tried to smooth things over with an apology back in 2022, but that did not fly with anyone either, and now they are facing their biggest fine ever. Imagine getting fined $4 million for not doing the right thing in the first place. Ouch. Discrimination is the heart of the issue, and Lufthansa is facing serious turbulence in its reputation. The passengers who were affected, many of whom were traveling to a religious event, were targeted based on their appearance. You would think an international airline would know better by now. But here we are. So, Lufthansa gets a record-breaking fine, and their reputation is grounded for a while. This case is a reminder that no matter how big you are, if you are caught discriminating, you are going to have to pay up. Big time. Is this the wake-up call airlines need to treat passengers equally, or is it just another scandal waiting to be forgotten in a few months? If you are used to running down to your local Walgreens for a quick snack, some cough syrup, or maybe even a late-night ice cream run, you might want to rethink that trip. Walgreens just announced they are closing 200 stores across the United States. That is right, one of the largest drugstore chains in the country is shrinking. Big time. So, what is going on? Well, Walgreens has been struggling to keep up with a shifting retail environment. Sales are down, and it looks like even Walgreens cannot escape the retail apocalypse. The company is doing this as part of a broader plan to cut costs and refocus on more profitable parts of its business. Enter CEO Tim Wentworth, the new guy in charge, who is trying to steer this sinking ship back to calmer waters. The closures are expected to happen over the next few years, but it is still a massive shift. Think about it. 1,200 stores shutting down means a whole lot of neighborhoods will lose their go-to pharmacy. Add that to the fact that Walgreens has been laying off employees left and right, and it is clear the company is in survival mode. The world of retail has been changing fast, and with online shopping booming, brick-and-mortar stores are struggling. Walgreens is just the latest victim. So, as Walgreens closes doors across the nation, the question is, will this move save the company, or is this just the first step in a long goodbye? Picture this. A company's earnings report leaks early, and suddenly, the entire semiconductor industry spirals into chaos. That is exactly what happened with ASML, the Dutch chip giant, which makes high-tech machines that companies like Intel and Samsung need to manufacture chips. The leak, which showed lower than expected orders, sent ASML stock plummeting and took the whole sector down with it. It is like someone flipped a switch, and boom, stocks everywhere were tanking. Talk about bad timing. So what went wrong? Well, ASML's earnings showed that demand for their machines is slowing down. And if demand for their machines is dropping, it is a bad sign for the whole chip industry. Companies like ASML are like the backbone of the tech world. Without them, there are no chips. And without chips, there are no smartphones, laptops, or gaming consoles. Yikes. This news hit the stock market like a wrecking ball. Investors freaked out, and shares in companies like Nvidia and AMD took a nosedive as well. It is a domino effect, and everyone is feeling the pain. The tech world may be booming in some areas, but this earnings leak reminds us that even the biggest players are vulnerable. So, ASML stock took a hit, and the whole chip industry is holding its breath. Is this just a short-term hiccup, or are we looking at a bigger slowdown in the tech world? What do you get when you mix investment banking with some seriously good timing? You get Goldman Sachs raking in massive profits, apparently. The banking giant just posted a whopping 45% increase in profit thanks to its investment banking division pulling off some major deals. And while the rest of us are struggling with inflation and higher prices, Goldman is out here making it rain. The star players in this story are Goldman's deal makers, who helped push their third-quarter earnings through the roof. While other banks were caught up in challenges, Goldman's traders and investment bankers were sealing deals, cutting checks, and walking away with big wins. Talk about having friends in high places. The boost in profits is impressive, especially considering the tough year the financial world has had. While some banks have been playing defense, Goldman went on the offensive and came out on top. But it is not all sunshine and rainbows. Analysts are still worried about how long this winning streak can last, especially with market volatility. So, what does Goldman Sachs' big win say about the state of the economy? Is this a sign that the rich are getting richer while the rest of us watch from the sidelines? Or are we all just waiting for the bubble to burst? And that's a wrap, folks. We've flown through some turbulence with Lufthansa, watched Walgreens pull the plug on a ton of stores, seen ASML hit the panic button in the chip industry, and witnessed Goldman Sachs pretty much laughing all the way to the bank. Crazy, right? But before you go, hang tight for a bit longer, because coming up next is a special treat. We've got a song we've put together just for you, inspired by today's news. Stick around. It's about to drop in just a few seconds. You won't want to miss it.
In the skies, where the planes do fly, there's a tale of Lufthansa, a story gonna write. Jewish passengers told you can't get on this plane. Discrimination was the word and the fines came. They said it wasn't right, it wasn't fair at all. The dot stepped in, gave a judgmental call. $4 million is the price to pay for turning those passengers, turning them away. Lufthansa, caught in a storm. Discrimination ain't the norm. Passengers waiting, left in the cold. $1 million fine, that's what they're told. Now Walgreens is closing, one tooth on its stores. The CEO's looking to even the scores. The chain's been struggling, trying to get it right. With fewer locations, they hope it'll be alright. It's a turnaround game, they're trimming the fat, cutting costs where they can. Imagine that, but the customers worry. Where will they go for medicine and care when the doors are closed? Walgreens shutting down the lights, trying to make it through these nights. Customers left searching wide as another business says goodbye. ASML had a leak in the chip world scene. Their earnings came early and the news was mean. Orders were weak, the outlook dim. Stock prices diving, the future looking grim. Semiconductors falling, market shaking bad. A slip in technology that's making traders sad. From the Dutch to the globe, the ripple is real as investors wait to see how things will heal. ASML, a sudden fall. Tech giants standing tall, no more. Chips and circuits losing ground in a market where hope was found. Goldman Sachs, they're on a roll. Investment banking on a stroll. 45% in profit surge. Equity traders on the verge. A record high, they're flying strong in a world where others did it wrong. They're dealing cards, making moves. Wall Street's feeling all the grooves. Goldman Sachs, they hit the sky. Other banks just wonder why. With profits rising, stakes so high, the competition can't deny. From the airlines to the stores, to the tech giants losing wars, and the bankers in their high-rise towers. These are the stories of our hours. Lufthansa, Walgreens, ASML, Goldman Sachs with stories to tell. It's a world that's turning fast as we watch it all fly past. Lufthansa, caught in a storm. Discrimination ain't the norm. Passengers waiting, left in the cold. $1 million fine, that's what they're told. Walgreens shutting down the lights, trying to make it through these nights. Customers left searching wide as another business says goodbye. ASML, a sudden fall. Tech giants standing tall, no more. Customers left searching wide as another business says goodbye. ASML had a leak in the chip world scene. Customers left searching wide as another business says goodbye. ASML, a sudden fall. Tech giants standing tall, no more. Chips and circuits losing ground in a market where hope was found. Lufthansa, they hit the sky. Other banks just wonder why. With profits rising, stakes so high, the